The prompt for RPG A Day 2018, Day 10. It's a personal one. Well, I think that's okay. You know, every once in a while we need to share, right? So this week we've moved through how can the players contribute to making the game experience better. How can they bring vibrancy or a sense of connection to the world? And then we followed it up with how can the events in that game be enhanced or made to feel more important by the involvement of the game master. Right? And then we talked about games that surprised us, right? Things that caught our attention, that gave us an experience that was more than we expected. Now, how have games changed us? Well, for me, I'm going to say it's not so much a sense of changing from something to something else, but more that it changed me back to something, or enabled me to at least come close to something that I used to be. And that all by itself is valuable. The other thing games have done is give me an opportunity to see beyond maybe the limits of one person's perspective. Of course, not with oracular clarity or anything, but if you game long enough, and if you game in a way that takes seriously the opportunity to put yourself into a situation different from your own, with backgrounds or personalities or needs that are different from your own, the process of thinking through how that would actually appear to other people, the process of how those people would connect with other people, or what they would want or what they would reject, and that sort of thing, that has an effect over time of pushing at the boundaries of self. Gamers are ostensibly creative people with the capacity to imagine things which are not real. And if that imagination is brought into focus on a personality that is not real, with the tools and training that come along with role-playing gaming for making everything at least seem real, while we'll never gain the power of telepathy, while we'll never be able to empathically inhabit the life of another person, we can open the doors of perception to at least get a glimpse of lives that are not ours. And in a world like ours, I think that's an incredibly valuable skill, and it's definitely not a skill I possessed naturally or coming up through my youth. As a child, I was naturally pretty able to navigate socially, but the older I got, the more that ability collapsed in on itself. I was far more interested in engaging with fictional worlds than real worlds. And being one of those kids who moved around a lot, I often found myself in a new town with, knowing nobody. And gaming is one of those through threads that once it appears in my life is the tool by which I would navigate these new worlds, these new towns, and so on and so forth. So maybe a little bit by luck and the good graces of the nice people that I've met along the way, people have become my friends for my life. Gaming and my natural, analytical nature and recognition that, you can't be an island. Well, how can you connect with others, and what are others going through, and who are these other people anyway? I think this is a valuable thing that gaming contributes, and gamers like to think of themselves as able to understand others better. If we look around the community these days, I think we see a strong struggle to find that footing again. There's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of, who can you trust? And there's a lot of fear out there, which wasn't out there before. It used to be, well, at least we're all gamers, or at least we're all metalheads, or at least we're all punks, or at least we're all into this, or we're all into that, or the team will look after you, that kind of thing. But now the team is getting so large, and we're letting people convince us that we can't trust the other members of our team, and I think that's a sickness. So we're human first. Diversity is great, but we're human first, and we need to embrace things like RPG a Day to see how we are all connected, how we can hear glimmers or pieces or fragments of our own experience in the stories of others. And if we value them in ourselves, how can we not value them in others? And if the hobby is all about coming together and playing games, if that's the reason to sit down at the table together, it can't matter who you're sitting down at the table with, providing it's someone with whom you can share an enjoyable, imaginative space. And in so doing, we learn about each other. So how has gaming changed you? It's turned me from someone who found it practically impossible to connect with other people to someone who professionally connects with other people. That's a big change. How about you?